Here we go.
Liz definitely not ready to hear this. But there is no real picture of the Earth.
What do you mean?
Every picture that's been released from that's on Google and or released from NASA is a 3D render. There's only 2 pictures that Earth claims to have in its vault. Let me show you them.
You're telling me that my iPhone 3G wallpaper isn't real?
That's the blue marble. The blue marble, as known from popular media and your iPhone 3, this claims to be an actual photo of the Earth from space.
It's claiming that?
You want me to show you the other one? The other one's hilarious. This is the real one, apparently.
What?
It's called the pale blue dot.
Who took that?
I've taken better pictures
take
whenever
their
my
chat.
phone is in my pocket accidentally. That's what this looks like.
Why do all these pictures look so fake?
If you go through Google, there's not a single one that looks even remotely real. It's definitely not ready.
Okay, so question one that a lot of people kept asking is, why are all of the photos of the Earth CGI? I didn't know that that was the case. I still don't. Are you aware that that's what some flat Earth folks claim?
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that's also used to claim that we've never been to the moon, that everything we see from the Apollo program is basically CGI. They even claiming that the James Webb Space Telescope and Hubble Space Telescope images aren't real. It's all CGI. NASA is faking us out. We've never been to the moon, and we don't have telescopes out in space taking these photos. It is true that every image is no longer a photograph taken by these amazing telescopes. We astronomers replace photographic film with charge-coupled devices. And that's also in your camera. I mean, the camera in your phone, your smartphone. If you have one of these point-and-shoot cameras, it has a charge-coupled device at the back, which is basically an array of photometers that's actually taking in the light and then computer processing it to produce the equivalent of a photographic image. So yes, computers are involved. It's not a photographic film anymore. And the reason why is charge-coupled devices are far more sensitive and far more accurate in what they're able to portray. So it's way better than photographic film. And we can produce objects or images with far higher resolution, far greater color, reliability. And so it's actually superior to photographic film and actually showing us what the object really looks like. And so, yeah, it's the fact that it's computer process does not mean that it's been altered. Now, the exception to that is the James Webb Space Telescope is an infrared telescope. After all, with the Big Bang universe, the farther away you go, the farther back in the redshift, red end of the spectrum, light is shifted. And so if you want to observe the most distant objects in the universe, you want to be observing them in the infrared because that's where all the light's been redshifted, and that's why you get much greater sensitivity. Now, what the NASA people do is they take that infrared image and they shift all the wavelengths by exactly the same amount to put it into the visible part of the spectrum so we can actually see it with our eyes. Otherwise, only a computer can analyze the image. So yes, they do shift the colors, but they're all shifted by exactly the same amount so we can get the impression of the wavelength variation in the infrared. The same thing's done with our X-ray telescopes and gamma ray telescopes and radio telescopes. We're observing in a region where the naked eye is not able to detect the light, so we shift the wavelengths so that we can see them with our naked eyes.
Got it.
There's no distortion going on.
So they're not wrong in saying that the images we are seeing are CGI or they're computer enhanced or computers are involved in generating them, but it's because the way the photos were taken were in a way that our eyes wouldn't be able to perceive.
Well, that's the case for, say, the James Webb Space Telescope, because it's not in the visible part of the spectrum. And so in order for us to be able to appreciate an image, we have to shift all the wavelengths into that part of the spectrum that our eyes are able to detect. But again, everything's shifted by exactly the same amount. There is no distortion going on. And the problem is people look at CGI and they're thinking of Star Wars, where we're basically using computers to produce something that's not real. But in this case, we're using computers and charge a couple devices to actually get a more reliable and authentic image than what is possible with photographic film.
And
And
that's
so you notice photographic film is not even available anymore.
right.
Yeah.
It's obsolete.
Yeah, I don't think that their accusations that the pictures of the Earth aren't on film anymore. I think they actually say we don't have a photo of the Earth from a distance away. Everything is bits and pieces that have been, I guess, coupled together or stitched together.
I noticed they showed that image of the Voyager spacecraft looking back on the Earth.
Is that the pale blue dot?
That's the pale blue dot where you're looking at the Earth from 1 billion miles away. But, for example, we have images of the Earth-Moon system from the Chinese craft. We also have them from American craft. And so I could show you images. You can see them on the NASA website that shows the Earth and the Moon together at a much closer distance with better cameras than what was available in Voyager. Voyager actually was sent up in 1970. So yes, it doesn't have the same sophistication as what's on the latest spacecraft. But yeah, they were deceiving you into thinking that's the only image we have of the Earth from a distance. That's not the case.
Okay.
Again, the Apollo astronauts were photographing the Earth from the Moon. And we have spacecraft that photograph both the Earth and the Moon together from, like 100 million miles away.
I'm going to ask you to email me those photos, and I'm going to insert them on the back end here, so people could see the images that you are saying are real images and not just eating this up that everything's CGI. Okay.
Right.
All right.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Thank you for telling us this, because this is the first time I'm hearing of this. I was under the impression that was the case, that we didn't have, that the Earth, the pictures of the Earth we have right now are put together with pieces.
Well, the claim is based on the fact that no Apollo astronauts set foot in the Moon. Everything there was faked. But as I wrote in an article I posted on reasons.org just a few weeks ago, there are laser reflectors on 3 different parts of the Moon. Physicists on Earth reflect laser beams off every single day in order to test their theories of gravity. And so how did those reflectors get there? And I'm old enough to have actually watched it live, the landing of the first Apollo mission, Apollo 11. And as soon as they got out of the spacecraft, out of the Eagle, what did they do? They set up a laser reflector. Laser reflector is literally used every single day by physicists around the world. And 2 others were placed there on later missions. So it can't be a fake. Something put that stuff there.